What's going on, guys? Squeeze Omens here, and today's topic is about graphics versus story and which one is more wanted. Now, graphics and story seem to be the thing that's talked about right now in video games, but it's been talked about before. It's been talked about before. But I think it's the second most talked about topic, with number one being the console war and relative to video games. So we're gonna take graphics and story and break them down and see what they'd be like one by one. All right, so let's begin. So graphics. Look at the gameplay you're seeing here. Look at the gameplay on your screen. Look at it. It's Team Fortress 2. Now look, I know it's just multiplayer shooting and it's just like any other FPS shooter. But I mean, look, the game doesn't matter. Look at these games' graphics. It's more cartoony. It's not one of those high def HD, like HD games or anything. I mean, it's just cartoony. It's just a little cartoony little game where you just shoot stuff. So, but there's still story to it. There's still, well, not necessarily in the multiplayer, but I mean necessarily in the single player. There's a story to Team Fortress 2. So there's a story to Half-Life 2. There's a story to Fallout New Vegas. There's a story to Halo. There's a story to everything. But what would those games be without the story? What would those games be without the graphics? Well, there'd be nothing. I'm not saying that you don't really need graphics. Like, without graphics, you would have just a story. So you might as well just turn that into a book. But let's go over to movies here. Movies were in crappy quality starting out, but they had a story. And the story is what brought the movies together. If you guys are getting, bear with me here. So graphics in games isn't necessarily essential, but it is essential. If you're gonna sell a game, you're gonna need a mixture of graphics and story, but you can't think of the word here. Okay, you can't zone in on one or the other. You can't go too hard on graphics or too hard on just story. You're gonna need a mixture, kind of like a hybrid of both. That's a good example. Halo 4, great example. That's what we're gonna use here. So Halo 4, great mixture of graphics and story. The graphics aren't too high, they're not too low, they're just about right. And the story is good as usual for a Halo game. Pretty good. So, but what would Halo be without graphics? It'd probably still be a great game. It just wouldn't have the best of picture. It'd still have a great story. But I don't know. Now, some people think maybe story isn't that important. Like, I don't care about this stupid story. The story sucks. But think of a game like Call of Duty. When you go into multiplayer. And you think, oh, yeah, all I do is shoot people. And then your friend asks you, hey, what's the story of this game? Well, there really is no story. You just go and shoot people. That kind of sounds lame. So then you ask your friend, well, what game do you play? What game do you think is so not boring? And they go, Halo 4. And then you're like, why? That game's kind of dumb. And then your friend's like, well, no, it has a nice story to it. It starts out, you're this nice Spartan soldier, and you have to save the world from the Covenant army. And, all this stuff that Halo. I'm not going to go on with Halo talk for a little bit. And then you go, well, yeah, that's okay. Well, my story is that I'm a soldier and I'm just shooting people. It's Shooting People's Military War Simulator 2014. That's what this game is. No story at all. Well, that kind of sucks. If you really think about it. Just think about your favorite game. Now, what would that be without story? And what would that be without graphics, but it had story? Now think about it if it had story but it didn't have any graphics. You would probably still like the game anyway, wouldn't you? So basically my point I'm getting at here is that you don't necessarily need a lot of graphics, but you don't necessarily need a lot of story. You need kind of both, but in a mixture together. So that's basically my opinion on the topic, guys. What do you think is more wanted to you personally, graphics or story? To me, I personally think story is more needed in a video game. Like, even in a movie, you probably need more story than you need high def picture. But movies are a little bit different than video games. So, just, yeah, what do you guys think? Which is more wanted, graphics versus story? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's it. Subscribe for more daily high definition graphics content with some story. And as always, people on that like button, guys. And have a good day.